Thanks for tuning in to Proline TV for our NASCAR starting lineup report for this Saturday, the 2nd of August, 2025 for Iowa. That's right. We're heading to Iowa tomorrow for the race. We've only been at Iowa for a NASCAR Cup race once. And so on Tuesday, we went through all of the particulars, and there wasn't a lot of data to go on because we only had one race. But one thing that did stand out was the poor effort from Toyota. And would that be the same this weekend? So far, it hasn't. Now, is Toyota, have they completely caught up? Well, we'll find out tomorrow. So far, they've done a good job, but I don't know if they've completely caught up. Chevy still now looks like the manufacturer, the top manufacturer. Chevy and Ford kind of shared it last year, but Ford was the winner of the race because Blaney dominated. I think Larson could have dominated, but he was stupid. After leading 80 laps, just as dominant as Ryan Blaney, he decided to try to go 3 wide. Well, he tried it in the middle to make it 3 wide, and that didn't work out, and he was done. Or maybe he goes on and leads 200 laps and wins the race for Chevy. So I think Chevy and Ford shared the top billing, and Toyota was nowhere to be found. Not the case so far Saturday. Now, I do not have the data for the starting lineup. I have all the figures. I have everything you need. But, the site that I like to use, for some reason, even though the times have been posted officially about a half hour ago, have not updated their site yet. So I'm going to keep refreshing. In the meantime, we'll take a look at the practice board and go from there. Okay. So what have we found out so far? Let's take a look at how it all began with practice. Probably as good as time as any to start off this sequence. And as you can see here for the top 10, Toyota gets off to a great start. Look at that. Top 3 cars. I mean, last year in practice, Toyota had 1 in the top 7. So now they have 3 in the top 3 and 4 in the top 7. So very good improvement here from Toyota in practice. Okay, now this is interesting. No, only one of those Toyotas that you see on the screen there, Hamlin, he's in a league by himself, and I'll get into that just a minute. But let's just talk top 9. Only one of the 4 Toyotas here you see on the screen actually did well in qualifying. And I don't think it's a surprise. If you don't know who it is, actually, yeah, you do know who it is because it's on the thumbnail. But should that be a surprise that Chase Briscoe is the fastest? I don't think so, because how many times have we said it here on this show over the past couple of months that he's just dialed in right now in qualifying. Sometimes it's entered in, it's kind of followed into the race as well the next day, and sometimes it hasn't. So we really have no idea what to expect from Chase Briscoe tomorrow. But Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Tyler Reddick did not fare well in qualifying. Okay, so Briscoe winds up, and again, we're going to hopefully get the board here soon, but he winds up on the pole. Yet Wallace ends up, let's see, where does he end up? Yeah, this is kind of screwing my head doing it this way. He winds up 15th in qualifying. Reddick, 22nd in qualifying. Bell, 17th in qualifying. Okay, so that kind of looks like what we saw last year. Meaning, even though it went well for Toyota in practice, you wouldn't have thought that way looking at qualifying. All right, so there's that. Now, as far as Hamlin, let's just stick with the Toyotas. He wound up 11th in qualifying, just outside the top 10. So he's okay. He's in good shape. He did clip the wall, though, in practice. Okay, still ended up, as you can see, with a good run. Did not have to change cars or anything like that. Wasn't that much damage like Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was really going well. At least it looked like it for a while. He was on the board. It looked like he was in second place, and then he couldn't get the control of the car. I think it was turn 1. That's where they've had the most difficulty today. Matter of fact, Ryan Blaney said in the interview, very sketchy practice. The grip not anywhere comfortable like it was last year. Meaning, I think we're going to have some more drama tomorrow, and that's a good thing. You might even have some cars that are considered fast out there, like Kyle looked pretty good. He looked pretty fast there for a while, and then boom, lost control. Hamlin, same thing. A few other drivers also had some issues. So that means maybe we'll see some of that happen again because the grip is just not as comfortable this year. And maybe not a surprise, okay? I think they just put it down last year, and now it's a whole year, weather and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of difference as far as the track conditions. And that, I guess, should be the way it is with every track on the circuit when you put new surface down. Okay. Now, let's continue with Toyota. Why don't we continue on this Toyota run? Because at this point, I'm not interested in Wallace because he just won last week. And I'm not interested in Bell, even though he was first in practice, because he was one of the short prices. He was 5-1, and it's not going to change. And so because it's not going to change, he did finish fourth last year, led a few laps, but Christopher Bell is not going through a great run right now. He's had some little moments lately, but for the most part, nowhere near like the way that he was humming earlier this year. So not at 5-1. I'm not interested, especially since he's driving a Toyota. I'm just not interested in that, considering he's starting 17th. And then Reddick. Yeah, Reddick, if you look at him, he was 18-1 and ended up 22nd, as I mentioned. But at 18-1, which is not a bad price, but he did not have a good run at it last year, and he qualified in the top 10 last year and still didn't have a good run. And his trending line is now going in the opposite direction all of a sudden again. So not interested in Reddick either. And with Denny Hamlin, of course, you're going to be interested in Denny Hamlin. No question about that. Matter of fact, CJ and I don't normally go with the short-priced favorites, but because we just feared that Iowa was going to be a I could put the right adjective, but a humdrum type of course that, like we saw last year. And if it happened, well, we want to just go with the best cars that we thought could dominate again. And we did. I went with Larson, he went with Blaney. Neither one of us took Hamlin. And keep in mind, he was 24th last year and he started 12th. So he's basically starting in the same position. So Denny did not have a good go of it last year, but he's hottest driver probably out there right now. So you do have to consider that. But again, driving a Toyota, very low price, starting where he started last year. Look what happened last year. Just like Bell, I think I'd rather go with a different priced driver. And so even though we both went with Blaney and Larson on Tuesday, I don't think CJ is going to change his mind because Blaney ended up, we'll see him in a little bit. He was 15th in practice. So the fact that, he was 15th in qualifying. No, wait. See, again, I'm getting screwed up. He was 6th in qualifying, 15th in practice. So the thing with Blaney, 15th in practice, that's not a big deal. Nobody cares. He wins races from 15th in either practice or qualifying. So the fact that he had a good qualifying run is just a cherry on top. And I'm sure he's perfectly comfortable with Ryan Blaney, as I am with Kyle Larson, as you can see here, 5th in practice and also 3rd in qualifying. Okay. And as I talk, I'm going to keep reloading and refreshing until hopefully, there it is. We've got it. All right. Now let's get this in here. All right. So there you go. There is the qualifying picture. All right. I'll tell you what, let's just keep on this practice deal first since we started there. Okay. Let's go through the rest now. And again, I just want to go through Toyotas first. So Gibbs will start Gibbs 14th in practice, followed that up with a 20th run. So don't like him. No reason to go with Gibbs. We've gone with him too many times anyway. Another top 10, if he can get that, I'm sure that'd be fine. Even though he needs to win, we get it. Taking a look at the rest of the board here with Toyotas, I don't really see anyone else. So there you go. All right. So we're done with Toyotas. I really think at this point, the only Toyota I would go on at this point is going to be Chase Briscoe. And he was 20 to 1. Okay, now I think that price, though, is going to go down to about 10, 12 now, I would think. I'm not sure I want him there, to tell you the truth. But hopefully you got him at 20 to 1 if you were interested in him at that price. All right. Let's run through the rest just so you can see here, and then we'll go to the qualifying. Who stood out? Well, Blaney again, 15th. Let's see, Chastain, 18th. And keep on going. Priest, very disappointing, 29th was my long shot, so I'm totally disinterested in him now. And Joey Logano, 36th. Man, did he have nothing. So that's how it began on practice. Now let's go to qualifying. Okay, so here you go. Well, I guess we could start here. Chase Briscoe on the pole, as we said. Now you got Byron. Byron and Larson are in really good shape for Chevy. So again, I think Chevy's at the lead now between last year and this year. Byron, 4th in practice. Larson, 5th in practice. There they are, 2nd and 3rd to start the race tomorrow. So they're in good shape. The difference is, of course, you're getting double the money with Byron. The problem is Byron is still in a bad way, 24.6 average in his last 8 races. He did finish 2nd last year behind Blaney, started in 4th. Larson had the best car, it looked like, until his wreck, and he's in great shape once again. And Kyle Larson is also starting to get back in rhythm with the 2nd and 4th in his last 2 races. By the way, he was on the pole last year, Kyle Larson, and here he'll be starting 3rd. I still think you're going to get 4 to 1 on Larson. I don't think that number is going down because Hamlin's number is going to stay the same. Bell and they're all going to stay the same. Nobody's number is going to drop that much, if at all. All right, so let's go with the Chevys now, since we're on Chevys. Hocevar, every time Hocevar is in the top 10, it's not a big deal. So we're not really concerned with that. That's not like, oh my goodness, we need to put money on Carson Hocevar. He does this a lot. And he's 30 to 1, and I don't imagine that number is going to drop all that much. Here's Elliott. Now, Elliott's not bad because he's going to start 8th. He practiced 9th. He was 12 to 1. So that was a pretty good number. His teammates, obviously, with Byron and Larson, who also looked fast last year. And so far this year, as was Elliott last year. He started 9th last year and finished 3rd. So I think Chase Elliott is also a really good play here at 12 to 1. I don't think those odds are going to drop very much. Maybe you'll get 10 to 1, but maybe. I still think they'll probably be around 12 to 1. So I think you're good there with Elliott. AJ and Haley. Now, we were talking about AJ is starting to, there's something there. He's been doing a little bit better lately. But just, you could just notice it just a little here and there, but not nowhere near enough. Haley is the interesting one. Haley, we actually singled out on the show on Tuesday, because if you look at Haley, he was a big number too. Haley was 250 to 1 on Tuesday. He finished 13th in the race after qualifying 19th. Now he's going to qualify 10th. He also, in his last 3 races this year, all top 20s, but more importantly, 2 in the top 15, 11th last week. So Justin Haley's found something, and it's obvious that he's got something going on with this day today. He was 13th in practice. So I think Justin Haley is not the craziest idea in the world if you want to throw a buck on him as a big long shot. He'll probably come down from 250 to 1. You might have lost 150 points. Still he'll be big enough. AJ, I'm not concerned with because he was 22nd in practice, and I think Haley impressed me a little bit more lately. And the team in general. Okay. Other Chevys of note. Bowman. I was disappointed with Bowman overall as far as his qualifying spot of 16th. He was 7th in practice, so I feel good about that. Now, CJ took him, but I would have taken him as well. His 55 to 1 number was ridiculous. So Bowman being teammates with those other Chevy drivers who all look ready to go and are top contenders tomorrow. And he was 8th last year, qualified 33rd. So the fact that he's qualifying 16th, he just cut that in half. So that's right there a good thing. He's 8.1 average in his last 7 races. So, now look, I don't know what you're going to get with Bowman. Maybe because he qualified 16th, they'll keep him at 50 to 1 or something. Whatever. You're probably going to get it. Most sportsbooks, you probably get 30, 35 to 1. you definitely have to go and put some money on Bowman. Chastain, I would forget about him. He was 20-1. He looks really slow as it is right now. And he's 25.8 average last 7 races anyway. And then we mentioned Kyle Busch. Okay, now as far as Ford, taking a look at the Ford drivers, once again, they did not do well in practice. Oh, for the top 7. But in qualifying, they were okay. 3 of the top 6, including the defending champ Ryan Blaney. So Blaney starts 6th, Keselowski 5th. That was my that was my second choice. Keselowski and Bowman were the 2 obvious value plays on Tuesday. We were all over this, and Keselowski looking even better that he starts 5th and practice 8th. He was 35-1. Maybe he'll get down now to 18 or 20. Probably still 20-25. I think you're still going to get a good number on Keselowski. Maybe you won't, but I think because you got those 4 big drivers sitting there between 4 and 5 and 6-1, you got to get good odds on other drivers, and I think a driver like Keselowski is going to benefit. All right, so yes, Keselowski looks good. Now look at Cindric. Not only was he 4th in qualifying, but he was 12th in practice. The problem I have with Cindric, he did not have a good run here last year, and I just can't see Cindric right now the way that he's going with 2 wins. I can't see it, but Cindric was 45-1. So look, if you're still getting about 35-40-1, it's not a bad idea, for a long shot play. And also, as far as Fords, let's see if anybody else stands. Logano, big improvement. They've definitely found something after a very ridiculous practice run, but I just don't see it with Logano. He just isn't racing really well right now anyway. So I'm not going to jump for Logano now. I've got other choices that I'm definitely more interested in. Chris Buescher, a very disappointing 27th. He was 20-1. He was 11th in practice, but didn't get the qualifying run he wanted. He did lead 16 laps in this race last year. And he can get into the playoffs by just being careful. Don't do anything stupid. So I think in this situation, Chris Buescher might just be, since he didn't get off to a good start at all on Saturday, hey, if I can get into the top 15, that's all I'm going to worry about. And then the rest, as far as Fords, again, I'm just the most disappointed in Ryan Preece. So now he's done. Okay, so there you go. That's how it looks overall as far as which way we're going to go now. By the way, there's 5 drivers that had top 10s in both sessions. Briscoe, Byron, Larson, Keselowski, and Elliott. All 5 of them are, well, I would say 4 of them are good choices. The top 3 for me are Larson, Keselowski, and Elliott. And Byron is not a bad idea. I just don't know if he just snaps out of it because he's been struggling so much. And Briscoe, again, if you could still get a good number, you might want to jump on it. But if the value just is away now and he's 10, 12-1, I probably not. And because again, Chase Briscoe is going to win a second race again this year. I don't know about that. Okay. And then other drivers that I think you definitely have to look at. The only reason that I wouldn't look at Blaney because I have Larson. Okay. So I'm not going to put money on 2, 4, 5-1 shots. But if you're just deciding on one of those, I'm still going with Larson, one of those favorites. I'd probably go Larson, Blaney, Hamlin, and Bell. That would be my order with those top drivers. Again, obviously just me. And then I think Haley's an excellent long shot play. And let's see, Bowman I still think is an excellent play. And that's about it. I don't see any drivers that are like way back that to me, I would be like, hey, it's not a bad idea. No, I'd probably put the line right here at Bell. I wouldn't bother with any driver outside the top 17 in my mind. But the problem with Bell is, again, you're going to get a short number, and Bowman's right next to him, and you're getting 50-1. Bell's 5-1. Come on, no way. Those 2 drivers should be that much of a difference at this track in this situation. But hey, it is what it is. And we know Bell's a better driver than Bowman right now. And that's all that matters. Okay, so there you go. That's going to wrap it up for our show today. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, please subscribe to the show. That's the best way to support our channel. Also, like the video. That's also very important. Look out for Kevin's pick and video, which is going to be right here in the description of this video. You can click that link and check out. It's only like a 4-minute video. He also has a matchup play between William Byron and Ryan Blaney. Who does he like? Check it out. And then by the way, he also has a short that always comes out on Sunday in case for whatever reason you never get the regular video that comes out before that. And then CG and I will return on Tuesday to take a look at another road course, Watkins Glen. And I've already let the cat out of the bag. As long as Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be even, I'm jumping all over him. So we'll try to see if we can find any other drivers that might give Shane Van Gisbergen a run for his money again when we talk on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the race. Good luck. We'll see you next week.